welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're very excited to have you here. Of course, we're going to have a look at how you can become a virtual assistant with VA Central. So I'm hosting. My name is Nikki Strachen, and I used to work as an estate agent before starting at VA Central. I was an estate agent for 3 years. I worked the sales side of things, selling residential property, and yeah, it just started becoming too much of a roller coaster for me, and I wanted to take on something that was a little bit more secure, getting my monthly payments. And a friend actually suggested that I join VA Central, and now today I've been with VA Central for 3 years, and it's been amazing. I'm a client success manager, and I actually help our clients find roles in their business that basically open the positions for the VAs. And joining me is Terry. Today's her first webinar. Terry, would you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everybody. So yes, my name is Terry. I have joined VA Central as Head of Talent. And just a little bit of background on myself. So I've been in recruitment for 6 years. I started my journey off at a company called The Unlimited. Absolutely loved my role. Just reached a stage where I felt a little bit limited to the opportunities that we could offer. I then ventured out into agency recruitment, where I joined an agency in Durban. I was traveling from Pietermaritzburg to Durban every day, so you can imagine how much time was spent traveling and in the car. And then I was approached by VA Central, and what really grabbed me is what VA Central is doing for everyday South Africans. I'm sure I don't have to elaborate on how difficult it is to, first of all, find a job in South Africa. And when you do find a job, you hold on to it with everything you have. So when I came across VA Central and I actually saw what they're doing and the opportunities that they're giving to South Africans, it really resonated with me. So I had my interview with our lovely ops manager, Bronwyn Smith, and I have now been here for almost 3 months, sorry. So I'm almost part of the furniture. So yeah, if you were to be successful, I would be the one to be doing your interview, vetting your CV, and yes, look forward to meeting all newbies.
Awesome. Thanks, Terry. So who exactly is VA Central? So we were basically established off of 2020 when remote work just became apparent, like everyone had to work from home. And basically our ops manager and our managing director, Sanjay Gandhi, they saw this opportunity to be able to get virtual assistants from South Africa to help business owners in the UK. So in the UK, fun fact, there's actually a skill shortage. So we're filling such an important gap where the UK business owners need valuable staff that actually want to be working and are hard workers. And the South Africans, of course, need reliable jobs. So it's just this fantastic marriage between the two. But as you can see, some of the VAs in the photo before you, we are over 100 VAs, and we're one big happy family, and all in our various skills and roles come together as one. So that's who VA Central is.
And definitely, I mean, if I can add to that, joining VA Central, you're not just joining an organization or a company. It really is very family orientated. You essentially joining a family. I'm sure you can agree with me there, Nikki.
Absolutely.
So I want to share our mission statement. I think this is a really important part of any organization or any business that you do join. We are going to read it together. So, at VA Central, we are dedicated to empowering UK businesses, particularly within the real estate sector, but not limited to, by providing exceptional virtual assistant services. Our mission is to enhance our clients' operational efficiency and facilitate business growth by delivering professional, skilled, and experienced virtual assistants who embody our core values of loyalty, commitment, and helpfulness. We strive to ensure that each VA is not just a support staff, but a proactive, intelligent, and efficient partner in our clients' success. Our passion lies in helping business owners streamline their operations, allowing them to focus on core functions, save time, and improve their work-life balance. By guaranteeing world-class service and performance, we help our clients achieve sustained success and satisfaction. So this is also our core values of our owner, at VA Essentials, which is Sanjay Gandhi. So I want to dive into a little bit of our core values for our virtual assistants. So the first we got there is dedication to self-development. We encourage self-development. We want you to grow. We love that you get a role where you learn and you grow. And of course, you're going to learn and grow because you're doing a role that is outside of your own country. And then second, we've got the resourcefulness and empowerment. We motivate a culture of proactive problem solving. If you read something that you're not quite sure of, Google is your best friend. Using all of your resources that are available
Or
to you.
ChatGPT.
Or ChatGPT. Or reach out to a fellow VA. There's so many VAs that are in similar roles that can actually help you and assist you. So just using all of your resources and empowering yourself. And then we've got collaboration. So collective collaboration. We will dive into, what platforms we have. We have got different WhatsApp groups, and we really believe that what's so powerful with VA Central is that you're not alone. You've got a whole team that is behind you, and that's what makes you so powerful. One of my favorite quotes on this is, none of us is as smart as all of us. So at VA Central, you are backed up with an entire team, and it makes you powerful. So yeah, and then we can dive into our roles.
Yeah, so just a bit of the overview of our services that we do offer. So our managing director, Sanjay Gandhi, actually owns 2 estate agencies in the UK. So he's based in the UK. The rest of us are all based here in South Africa. And this is why we've chosen this kind of property niche. But again, like Terry said, it's not the only industry that we're in. We are open to any industry because essentially we're a recruitment agency, so we can recruit for any role. But just to give you an idea of what are our most popular roles at the moment, it's going to be in 2 categories. It's either administrative or technical. So I'm going to cover the administration side of things. So, okay, looking at administrative, what would that be? So, for example, property sales administration. So, let's say you used to work as a sales estate agent like myself. You're going to know all the admin that happens in a sales estate agency role. For example, setting up contracts or getting important documentation, or maybe it's writing a property write-up that you're going to, like for a listing that needs to be, listed. Everything administratively that's relevant to sales in a state agency, that's kind of what a property sales administrator would be doing. Then if you're looking at the negotiation side of things, so we tend to merge those 2 roles, but if you were in theory just a negotiator, you would be handling the contracts, you would be handling the prices, you'd be negotiating the price between the buyer and the seller, or between the tenants and the landlord, but that's basically what the negotiation side is of things. So this is very estate agents focused. Then you're going to see progression, that's sales progression. So sales progression, if again, you've worked in a estate agency as a sales estate agent, you'd know the process of conveyancing. So it basically follows a chain of steps that needs to happen for property to register. So if you work as a sales progressor, that would mean that you would handle the communication from when the contract is signed until when the property is registered. So you would handle all of the communication with the solicitors, which is their conveyancing lawyers, with the bond attorneys, the mortgage advisors, etc., as well as the buyers, the sellers, and everyone in between. Then lettings administration is, I feel, also very, self-explanatory. If you've worked in lettings, you know what administration is applicable. There's going to be renewals, maybe some certificates that have to be done. You might manage the move-ins, move-outs. leases that needs to be re-signed, etc. Again, with the negotiation side of things, that's going to be you negotiating contracts and prices and etc. Property management, again, very relevant. So that's, of course, you know, if you've got a thick skin and you can take all those maintenance queries coming in, then property management is for you. But yeah, so it's just managing the properties, right? Everything that happens post tenancy. So the tenant has moved in and they've got any queries and you have to help them with things in the house, or maybe a pipe bursts or whatever, and you have to arrange a contractor. So that's what property management would be. Then personal and executive assistants. So personal assistants, I think we all know, you know, maybe some email management, diary management, but you're working directly for a person as their PA, as their right hand. If you are an executive assistant, that would mean that you'd be basically a PA to more than one person. So maybe it would be 2 directors, or it might be for a team. You know, you might be handling the admin that's just spilling over their plate that they're not getting to, or handle, let's say, communication between all of them. You might be booking events or things like that. Okay, operations administration, again, you know, you're handling all of the administration that takes place in operations of a business. So it's quite a big role, quite a lot of admin. And then on the management side of things, now, of course, this means that you will be in a management role. And yes, it is possible to be a remote working VA and manage a business. Our operations manager is doing this on a daily basis for a few businesses. So you can have a very senior position at VA Central as well. It's not just, you know, admin here or there, like very basic tasks. You can actually hold a very high position in a company. Okay, bookkeeping is definitely still a role that we do. It's not like as big as the other ones, but we do have clients that need bookkeeping. And again, you know, just balancing books, etc. I'm not going to try my hand at bookkeeping terminology, but then if you're
and just to add there, I mean, yeah, also, sorry, Nikki, but also with bookkeeping, we are looking for qualified bookkeepers and,
yes.
you know, at least 3+ years experience. So that is one of the roles that we do need, you know, qualifications for and so on. I just wanted to add in there.
Yes, no, qualifications are required and definitely experience. Well, with all our roles, there is experience required. Then appointment setter, so that just might mean you might be working for an estate agent, for example, and you're calling all of their leads and basically booking appointments into their calendar. Or it could be, you know, property's been listed and there's like inquiries coming in. They want to go view the property and you're just booking the appointments into the calendar that suits both the estate agent and, you know, the seller, for example, or the landlord or the tenant or whatever. Then client success manager, that is like my position. So you'll be in sales. That would mean that, you know, you're handling leads on a daily basis. You might be a part of marketing. You will be meeting with clients. You'll be having regular conversations with clients. You'd have to know the product very well, like the back of your hand, and basically be able to sell the product of your clients. And then sales, you know, sales could be different industries. You might be doing sales for a property investor or, you know, any other type of business, but sales, you'd have to have relevant experience. But again, on all these roles, your clients will actually be giving you a bit of training as well. So we do have, I just want to mention this, we do have people come in, like actually my colleague Latia. So when she started as a VA at VA Central, she had absolutely no property knowledge. And she did extremely well. She was handling, I don't know how many, like 15 or something, estate agents, booking all of their diaries and everything. And she started not knowing anything about property, not even having worked in the property industry in South Africa. So don't let it scare you off if you don't have property experience. You know, if your CV is great and you've got relevant experience, we do have some clients that say they don't really mind or care about, you know, property experience. They're looking for the right personality type. But yeah, so that's the administration side of things.
Okay, great. So now we're going to dive into more technical roles. So we've got a few bullet points here that I'll just run through. So, you know, it's website building, graphic design, social media management, digital marketing, search engine optimization, also known as SEO. And I mean, these are very exciting roles. So these do vary between part-time roles and full-time roles. But just to give you a better idea, you know, in these roles, especially social media management, you are responsible for rebranding a client's brand and, you know, what their brand is on social media platforms. So again, you know, you need to have at least a minimum 3 years experience. But we've got VAs that have created like ClickFunnels, trigger links, content creation, it's video editing, podcasts. You would be responsible for doing their newsletters, specifically in social media management, you know, putting a strategy in place on how they're going to be on social media. And I'm sure Nikki can also agree with me. It's a lot of the processes are the same with the UK and South Africa, but they are very different, specifically in the property market when it comes to social media. So if you have a look at, you know, people that are business owners in the property sector in the UK, they are like celebrities. You know, they are very big on their LinkedIn. They're very big on their Instagram. You know, they're always collaborating on social media. So we do have a lot of roles that come available where they're looking for people that can build websites for them, that can do their graphic designing, manage their social media. So very exciting roles. And like I said, they do vary between 2 hours a day or full-time roles. So there are a lot of opportunities here.
Yes, and this is quite a popular role, I must say, with VA Central. And it's kind of, you know, just keeps building in popularity because I think a lot of clients also realize how important their socials are and their digital marketing. So it's quite an exciting, you know, journey to be a part of. Yeah, so examples of daily activities, Terry.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to start at the top there, which is email management. So, I mean, it is self-explanatory, but just to go into a little bit more detail there. So one of the most common tasks is email management, whether you get your own account. If the client sets up your own email address, you would be managing all the emails in there. Another common one is, you know, emailing the email account for your client. You can either be responding, you know, on behalf of them, but you would be doing the whole management of the email accounts, whether it's your own or of that of the client. And then the second point there, you know, customer inquiries and service. So a lot of the roles are client facing. You know, speaking clients, not all of the roles are client facing, but most of them are. So you would be in charge of speaking with the clients, dealing with, you know, inquiries that are coming in, making sure that you're proactively, you know, dealing with any queries and services that need to happen within their business. Then diary management, also quite self-explanatory. You would, you know, if you get a role where you're booking in appraisals for the clients or a few agents, you would then be responsible for managing those agents' diaries and booking in, you know, appointments and so on. And then phone answering. So yes, you are working from home. A lot of people have quite a few questions on, so how do I phone out and, you know, how do I receive calls? Well, to answer that question, we use a VoIP system. So it is an app that you download onto your cell phone, and you will get a landline that actually looks like you're phoning from the UK. So there are a lot of roles where you'd be responsible for answering the phone, and it will come through from a UK number. And then, yeah, Nikki, if you can do the last 4 there for us.
Yeah, so moving on, CRM management. So CRM is customer relationship management platforms. And this is just basically software that, you know, keeps the data of every single client, lead, whatever you want to keep track of, every single person that comes in touch or gets in touch with your business, they're on this system. So CRM management might be applicable, operating relevant software. So the business owners in the UK are quite tech savvy. I'd be surprised if you find a business owner that's not using some kind of tech. If they are, they're a bit behind, because it's very popular for them to be using different, platforms. That could be for managing properties or for generating leads or sales progression. There's quite a few platforms. They tend to be very user friendly. Other than that, there'll be training on that. But if you've used any similar type of platform previously, then of course that is beneficial. Then Zoom meetings, this is only really relevant if, you might be in a sales role or customer service role, and this is important to your client to have like Zoom meetings with customers, or it might just be Zoom meetings with the team. But Zoom meetings, of course, it's much better having a conversation face to face than just over WhatsApp or, over email. So Zoom meetings, you might be doing on a daily basis or every other day, but it's very possible it's going to be part of your day. Then what is an EOD report? So that's actually a report that you send at the end of the day. And basically in this report, it's well planned out, and it details everything that's happened in your day by the hour. So the reason why this is beneficial for you is because you can show the client what you've been doing, the whole day, without having to record your screen or anything like that. But also why this is beneficial is because when a client can see that you've spent maybe too much time on something, that this then gives them the opportunity to kind of say, okay, let's book a training session, and they can help you improve your speed on that, because of course, that's all the tricks of the trade, and they've been doing this for a very long time. So that's what an end of day report is, and that you'll be doing at the end of every single day. Okay, then skills and traits of successful virtual assistants. And this is, of course, based off of experience, what we've seen our VAs who's been the most successful in their roles. So definitely time management is of the essence, being able to manage your time accordingly. I think that's also kind of self-explanatory. If you're able to manage your time, you're going to get more done in the day, you're going to be more productive, and you'll have a happy client. Always available during working hours. And this is just to say that you might have a role where you're working only a half day, so that's 4 hours a day, or you might have a role where you're full-time, 8 hours a day. But within the hours that has been agreed with your clients, you need to be available. So we don't want to, hear from a client that they're trying to call you. Of course, if there's like a scenario or a situation that's out of the ordinary, then everyone will understand. But typically they should be able to reach you, because you're not sitting in the office, and communication has to be very strong, and you need to be available, whether it's a phone call, or they might say, I just got a slot open in my day, can you quickly hop on Zoom? And you kind of want to be prepared for that, not have your hair standing in all directions, and not have any makeup on or anything. It's just be prepared. Then VAs that go above and beyond. We have so many clients that say they experience this with South African VAs, that they just love going above and beyond. And I think a big reason for this, Terry, is that the clients, so there's a joke that Latia and I usually make, is that in South Africa, if you do a good job, they just give you more work. But in the UK, if you do a good job, they say thank you. So it's so great, when you go above and beyond, and the client really just appreciates it, because honestly, they're not used to that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, you get more recognition, and it's so true. I mean, in South Africa, you just get more work. In the UK, you
yes,
get recognized.
yes.
So yes, I definitely agree with that. So then, we've also got resourceful and problem solvers. So you are in an upbeat role. The UK, I mean, they operate at an amazing level. So they are looking for VAs that are resourceful. Like I mentioned earlier on, using your resources. If there's something that you don't know, problem solving and trying to find it out, whether you're popping a message onto the WhatsApp group, in the lettings WhatsApp group, or to VA Central, or reaching out to another VA, or Googling, you are resourceful and a problem solver. And then good listeners and attentive. You know, it's so easy when you are so busy and everything's going on to look like you're listening, but really to actually listen to understand and not listen to respond, I think is a really good skill and trait that you can have. Excellent task execution. Do everything 110%. You know, it's also, you've got a time crunch and you've got work that needs to be done. So it's quite easy to rush through everything and get everything done. But I think you also really need to do your task and execute it well. So attention to detail is crucial as well. And then my favorites. So to dress to impress and be ready for the day. So you are working remotely and, you know, you're working from home, but it makes such a big difference to wake up in the morning, get up, you know, do your hair, do your makeup, dress for the day. And even if you're not in a client-facing role, it just does something for you and your productivity. If you look good and you feel good, you're going to work good. So definitely, I mean, we do make a joke. You know, slippers are allowed.
This
So I
is,
think
yeah, this
anything,
is the
you
one
know,
exception. Yeah.
table down, but everything table up, you know, dress to
And
impress.
again,
And
speaking
yeah.
from experience here, guys, I've been there where you wear pajamas to work. It doesn't work, okay? Working
No,
from bed also doesn't work, you know, that's made for resting. So, I mean,
exactly.
I also want to add to that, like having a dedicated space in your house where you know for a fact that's just for work. It's like that's your space where you're going to focus and, you know, get things done. And then being able to close a door or just walk away from that section and go relax in your home is also very important just for mental health. But yeah, these are the tricks of the trade. We've been doing this for a while, so believe us.
Hey, so very important. What do you need to start? So you are working remotely and you are working from home, but it is also really crucial that you have a good setup and you have the right technology and sources. So cell phone must be a smartphone. I don't know if anyone's still running around with their Nokia 3310, but in this case, it must be a smartphone. You need to, especially for the VoIP system that I mentioned earlier as well, it is an app that gets downloaded through Play Store onto your phone. So it must be a smartphone. And then laptop and PC. So minimum processing speed must be nothing less than an i5. Reason being, you have a whole bunch of platforms that are running onto your computer. You've got Zoom running in the background. If you've got anything, a processor, anything lower than an i5, you will be slowed down. And it will, I mean, it's frustrating, but it's also going to slow you down in your role. So minimum i5, laptop or PC. And then the lovely South Africa. So I'm too scared to say this name because we haven't had any load shedding for a while. But unfortunately, we do live in a country where load shedding does exist. Our clients in the UK, most of them don't, well, all of them don't know what load shedding is. So we try and streamline this as best as possible. So it is a non-negotiable to have a backup power supply, whether that is an inverter or it is a generator. I know some people are fully reliant on. If you don't have anything in place, you need to get something that will sustain you if there is load shedding or even something longer than load shedding. And then work from home space. Nikki did mention this, you know, a few minutes ago, but it is really important to have a dedicated working space at home. Ideal to have an office where you can close the door if you have a client-facing role or you're on the phone the whole time. I know I'm a mom of two. It does get quite crazy. You've got kids hanging all over you and the cat walking past the screen. So a nice dedicated workspace. And then if you are in a certain role where you're dealing with clients, to be able to close the door. And then lastly, a strong internet connection. So our minimum requirements is obviously ideal is fiber or an ADSL, but minimum requirements is about a 50 meg line. Same reason being as your processing speed on your laptop. If you do not have a fast enough internet line, you are going to be slowed down. You know, for example, we had a VA that was downloading the VoIP system on her cell phone, and she didn't have a strong enough internet connection. Nothing works. You can't phone out because your VoIP system does work on your internet. So fiber ADSL minimum 50 meg line.
Absolutely. Anything less than that, and you're going to be sitting with some issues. I just want to make a notable mention of this really funny comment. Bronwyn said, "Eishkom."
Yes,
Eish.
exactly.
Anyway, any other questions? You can pop them in the question Q&A section. We'll be answering that in the Q&A section at the end. So you're more than welcome to pop your questions as they jump up in your head, and we'll answer them at that stage. Okay, cool. So then why should you join VA Central? So of course, the benefit of working from home. And, you know, I mean, I can attest to this. I mean, having to sit in traffic is not Ayoba. Having to just go out of the house every day. I don't know. I'm such a, you know, I just love being at home. I can wear my slippers, like Terry said. I can pop in a load of washing in the middle of the day, and it's just all great, you know. And also, I have a 1.5-year-old, and she's got a nanny here at home. So I get to see her the entire day. I get to see her every time I go make a cup of coffee. I give her a hug. Every time I need to go to the restroom, or and when I have lunch, it's spent with my daughter, and I can't tell you how valuable that is to me. And, you know, just also from what other mothers have told us as well, you know, what they really appreciate is when their kids are sick, they're at home and they're able to keep an eye over their kid. Their kid can be lying next to them on the couch, and they can still nurture their children and, you know, keep a close eye on them and still be productive at the same time. So that's like very valuable. Then of course you can get international experience. When you work with a UK company, you are being exposed to, you know, other mindsets, other ways of doing things, other culture. They are very similar to us. They also love complaining about the weather. My fellow Cape Townians would understand. So, you know, you love cracking a joke with them and everything, but there are differences, and you get that great experience of broadening your experience, you know. Then, of course, to be part of a vibrant community that help each other, like Terry was saying, we've got our WhatsApp groups. We'll go into that as well. But we've really got a vibrant community of VAs that support each other. When it's your birthday, everyone knows it's your birthday, and you've got people celebrating. When it's your work anniversary, we're all celebrating together. Even when people are struggling with anything, we struggle together, we help each other, and that's the kind of community that you'll be joining. Then we do have competitive salaries. If you look at what people are paying, I mean, especially the administrative roles in South Africa, it's completely frowned upon in the UK, you know. Admin is so appreciated in the UK because they understand that admin, your business can't go without it, you know. So we do have competitive salaries.
Definitely. I saw a comment pop up there from Bronwyn, and she said, "Don't forget, no traffic."
Yes,
which is
you
so
don't have
true.
to sit in traffic. Yeah, that's horrible. And you save a lot on petrol money.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so you know, training and development. So onboarding training. So you know, there is a difference, you know, with the jargon and the terminology and all of these things compared to South Africa and the UK. So we do offer training in this regard. Your clients also do, you know, offer training in the different, like we call it lettings, and they call it lettings, we call it rentals. Just for an example, you know, another example is we call it a geyser and they call it a boiler. And, you know, so there's so many different terminologies.
Don't talk to a client or a tenant about a burst geyser, because it means something completely different to them.
Completely different. So we do assist in that with our onboarding training. We do guide you in the right directions to go to bring yourself up with that terminology. And then we've got ongoing professional development opportunities. So we do hold monthly workshops. These workshops are sometimes, it's just specifically to different roles, whether it's, in the digital marketing space or it's in the sales space or, property management and so on. But we also do it on, time management and mental health and all of those things. We also do regular check-ins with our VAs to constantly be, upskilling them and seeing what opportunities we can, present to them. And also, really importantly, most of our clients, well, all of our clients do offer development opportunities where you're going to join a client and they do training with you. So there again, you're also exposed to another way of how things work in the UK within your role. And then tools and resources provided to virtual assistants. So you have noticed we've been talking about our WhatsApp groups, and if you need help, you reach out. So we do have quite a nice platform where we've got our WhatsApp groups. If you don't know something, you pop it into the WhatsApp group and someone will answer and someone will help you, because 10 out of 10, there is another VA that has gone through the same process. There was an example that Nikki and I were actually chatting to earlier about one of our VAs that Nikki, I don't know if you can help me with the information
Yeah,
here, but that needed more training.
Yeah, so one of our VAs, so basically when he started with his client, the client really wanted him to do Google Ads, and he did have an understanding of Google Ads, but what we didn't know is how advanced the client wanted it to be, because the level of his Google Ads is honestly on another level. So basically we had this conversation with the client, and what we did is we then hooked the VA up with a training course on Google Ads. And then also we got one of our more experienced VAs to actually do some one-on-one training with him. So we do make those tools and resources available. But also, just like you were saying, Tay, with the WhatsApp groups, just today on our digital marketing group, a VA was saying, are you guys also struggling with Meta Business?
Yes.
The Meta Business, I don't know what it's called. Yeah. The back end to be able to post on Meta, right? And a few of the VAs were saying, yes, me too. And someone else like, no. And then some of them were just complaining together and confiding in each other and, supporting each other. And it was their little digital marketing rant. And they were just able to appreciate each other and not be alone in their frustration, but to know, okay, someone else is going through the same. I'm not alone. And, let's wait it out. But that's also what the tools and the resources that you have available to you on just the WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, and it's really a powerful tool. You've got like a whole bunch of information in one WhatsApp group that's a message away. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, so next we are going to be introducing two lovely ladies. And they are actually VAs with VA Central, who's going to just be giving a quick testimony that obviously they've experienced with VA Central. So Vanda, if you would put on your video, and hey Vanda,
Hi.
thank you for joining
Evening. Sorry, I was just struggling with the lights. Hi, everyone.
We can see you.
We can
That's
see.
cool. Just quickly, just to tell you a bit, I've been in the property industry for 20 years, which is a very long time. And working in SA, it's totally different working for the UK. So I had this wonderful lady coming into my life last year, Latia. She's with VA Central, and she tried to convince me, and there's no way that I'm moving, because you feel comfortable in your job, you get your salary, you move on. So yeah, I took the chance and started, and I enjoyed it. And then my contract ended, and then I joined VA Central. So it's been amazing 5 weeks, thanks to Terry and Latia. So it went quickly. I mean, I can never forget my first interview. So that went well. And yeah, I got placed with the most amazing client. Like, it's just unreal. It's a pleasure logging in the morning, having a chat, doing your work, logging off, having your Teams meetings, your Zoom meetings and everything. So it's all communicating, even though even with you not working from home, you're working from home, but you're still interacting with everyone on the other side. So yeah, the way that they speak are a bit different. And I think the main issue with the UK is all the postal codes that I'm struggling with. So it's not like, oh, we're from Cape Town or we're from Joburg or Port Elizabeth, it's all the different codes. But I mean, it's amazing, amazing journey. And yeah, every moment so far, 5 weeks. So yes, ladies, I'll think I'll be getting old here with VA at the end of the day.
Become part of the furniture.
Part of the furniture, most definitely.
So, Vanda, if you could just share a little bit about your clients and what you do on a daily basis, like just very briefly.
Yes, that's quite interesting because it's totally different compared to SA. So basically, my client is Legal for Landlords. Their work, basically the part that I do is like in SA, the agents do their own apps, they do their own processing of applications, looking at references, speaking to employees and your landlords. So this is what Legal for Landlords are doing. We're getting all the applications in from all the estate agents. So we deal with quite a few applications coming in. So I'm basically the first responder. I get the app in. I have a look and see what is that. Do they have the right to rent in the UK? It's not like in South Africa. You do need some certain things, and yeah, so you do everything and then it goes through to the people doing it. So it's totally different if you think about it. And when I joined 5 weeks ago, they're up to 50, they've been 15 years in the business. They are having 15 million apps up to date. So that makes it 1 million apps per year. So you can imagine what you deal with on a daily basis. So, but yeah, it's super, super amazing. Like, it's, yeah,
Would you say
I
it's a
can't.
rewarding role?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And especially with the group of people that I work with in the UK with Legal for Landlords, is they're a bunch of young people. Like my manager is like 22, like,
Wow.
wow, but they're so sweet. And it's like what you said earlier is they appreciate you. They appreciate what you do. They catch up with you on a daily basis. Do you have any problems? Do you having any issues? So yeah, that is like always expect a call just to say, are you okay? Do you have a problem? And the main thing is when you do send a message, it's like, everything all right? Like, yeah, so I mean, they a bunch of super amazing people. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better clients. So yeah,
Wow.
that is like, it's like home, you understand. Being with VA, being with Legal for Landlords, it's like being home. It's like really a pleasure just getting online every day.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vanda.
Thanks.
Okay, Shanae, if you want to put your camera on, and there we go, and just introduce yourself. Hi,
Hello,
thank you for
hi
joining.
everyone. Yeah, so my story is actually very similar to Nikki's story, funny enough. So back, I've been in property for 4 years. I'm a qualified commercial property broker. So I do the sales of commercial property. That's what I am qualified in doing. And then Nikki reached out to me on LinkedIn. And if, I explained
Poached you.
literally poached me. I'm not sure how long she was been, stalking me for, but she messaged me and I was a little bit hesitant. I mean, I said to Nikki, I'll never forget walking down the stairs of my office saying to her, I'm not sure if I should be having this conversation right now, but kind of hesitant, but also open to the idea because honestly, I can't fault VA Central at all. I was then open to having the chat with Nikki. She explained to me after I had asked 100 questions, literally had asked so many questions to her. She was there answering each one. The process overall was very smooth. In my mind, I already had, given the green light. She came to the initial the interview with a client that she had handpicked already for me, which already was kind of like a light bulb in my mind to think that it wasn't just a normal recruitment process where it's like, you apply for a company and you form part of their, process of applicants. It was really, Nikki obviously had gone onto my profile. She put me with a client that she already thought that I would, but bearing in mind, she had no idea who I was. So it was already, kind of an eye opener for me. And then I had the chat with Nikki, and I was a bit risky because I was, I'm not 100% a risk taker. So I said, let's do a half day role to kind of test the waters. Then I loved it, and I was placed with an incredible client. So I work for the estate agent consultancy, and we work with the growth of estate agents. So if you're thinking of a personal trainer in the gym, we're literally a personal trainer for agents, basically wanting to grow their business. And yeah, I've been with Chris now for 5 months, and honestly, working from home has, like Nikki and Terry said, we've got the flexibility. But I think my main, thing that would be very, worthwhile sharing is the amount of respect that the UK people have for South Africans. Because, being a South African, especially, valuing it, comparing it to a half day, I would start, let's say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in South African time. And if I had been on my phone replying to my clients at 10 o'clock in the morning, he's like, why are you talking to me? Like, not start work. And obviously, as a South African, we're used to, just answering when you get a message. It was not really a thing for me. So I think it's just feeling, valued and also respected, is a big thing as being a VA. And then also having the incredible support from Nikki. I think, I message Terry every now and again, and well, every now again, a lot. And I message Nikki a lot. So yeah, I think, the support has honestly been fantastic. So yeah, I've now gone on full time with my clients. So that already says that, I've tested the process. I'm honestly I think I'm the best example in terms of starting half-time to becoming full-time, that I've given up a position I've been doing for 4 years. It obviously means that VA Central's got the right source. They know what they're doing, and I can't fault them anyway. But yeah, they're fantastic.
Thanks, Shanae. You're
Amazing.
fantastic.
Thank
We love
you.
having you. I also want to just quickly ask you, what was kind of the biggest challenge that you found, especially when starting out? What's kind of something that you struggled with that you were able to overcome?
So it was the idea of change. So I'm very used to waking up in the morning, you get up, you drive to work, that you're just used to doing the same old, same old. So it was kind of having that fear of what you're getting yourself into. Is it the right decision? As none of us ever know. So it was really the fear of change. But yeah, I wouldn't say that there was other implications. There wouldn't actually be other challenges. It would just be change, and I think that would actually be
Change
it.
is a big challenge. Not
Yeah.
just for VAs, for clients as well. This whole idea of being able to work online, the world is still warming up to it. So, that's why
Exactly.
I felt a bit scared before I started, and a lot of VAs feel a bit scared, but that's why we're here to answer each other's questions. Even if there are 100, it doesn't matter. We're here to answer because we understand, we were there.
Yeah.
We
No,
know
I
where
can
where your
vouch
head's
that
at.
you answered those questions.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, Shanae. I really do appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Okay, cool. So next question. So let me just quickly check here in the Q&A section. Okay. What is VA Central's vetting and onboarding process to join your platform? Terry.
Yes, so I think you beat us to our next point that we were actually going to discuss. So, onboarding. So obviously you would need to submit your CV. You can email your CV through. We will pop the email address in the chat box so that you have got it, but it is recruitment@vasentral.co.uk. We've also got a really lovely career hub that we have launched, where it's actually got all of our positions that we've got available. We'll also pop that into the chat so that you can go on there and you can apply. And then we will vet your CV. So we do look for minimum 3 years experience, not property experience per se, but more like what your experience is and how many years experience you've got in it, whether it's administration or it's more technical roles. We do offer bespoke virtual assistant. So it really is important that you have got the experience. If you make it to the short list, I will contact you. You will be seeing me on an interview. I will then do your whole first interview, which is more of an introduction and to highlight what your skills are, what your strengths are, because just as much as it's important to find what the client is looking for, it's also really important to us to find, what the virtual assistant is looking for and what your strengths are. From there, you will go off to management. They will have, look back, see if you are a fit for VA Central. And then if you are approved, we will then look at the current roles that we've got available. If there is a match there, we will always discuss the role with you in detail. You're always in control of where your CV goes to. And then, if there is no role at the moment, we have got roles that are coming in daily. And if we don't have a role, we've got the lovely Nikki and Latia that will go find the role and the clients. So that's just a little bit, on the trying to apply. And then obviously, if you are successful with a client, we will go through a whole onboarding process where we will take you through that.
Yeah. And then also, you do work directly with the client. So just before starting, Terry will connect you on email, sharing email information, obviously mobile numbers for WhatsApp, but then you'll start talking with clients and you'll book your Zoom meeting for your first day. And then basically you'll go from there. But Terry, you also do an onboarding meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
So we do an onboarding meeting where we cover everything. So you're never in the dark. We do assist the whole process, to meeting and connecting with the client. And then obviously, if you are successful, your contract would be with VA Central. So everything from an HR perspective, you would deal with myself or with Bronwyn, and obviously Nikki and Latia when it comes to the clients. So yes.
Cool. So next question is, if you have work experience in different industries, are you allowed to apply for more than one position at the same time? So basically, we choose positions based off of the interview we had with you and your CV, your skills, your knowledge, your personality. We'll actually put the roles forward to you. So except if you go onto the Career Hub and you want to apply for a specific position, yes, you're more than welcome to apply for more than one. But as soon as you are an approved applicant, if we see a role that we think is a good fit for you, Terry will reach out and tell you about the role, and you can decide if you want to be put forward for that or not. So, okay, how do I apply? Terry just covered a bit of that. We'll cover a bit of that after this as well. Is it necessary to have a VA certificate or qualification? Absolutely not. Most of the VAs are completely new to being a virtual assistant. If you just have those, nice skills, I know Bronwyn also said in the chat, attention to detail is probably the most important skill as a VA. So if you've got attention to detail, we can pick up on that and we can see if you'd work as a VA or not. Okay, what do I need to do to join the team? We'll go after that afterwards. How can we join the WhatsApp group? So the WhatsApp groups are closed off to only VA Central members. And as soon as you become a VA with us and you're assigned to a client, you'll be welcomed onto the group on your first day, and then also divided into other relevant groups that are relevant to your role, like digital marketing or property sales or property management, etc. Okay, do you have to reside in SA to be able to work for VA Central? So generally, yes. We've had very rare instances where there's been people from other countries, but generally that it doesn't work out that well. It's better if you are in SA, but it's not a no. You might be in a country. I think the main thing is just that the rate needs to make sense to you. And then also, time zone, we'd want it to be nice for you, for there not to be too much of a difference between you and the UK. If you don't mind working through the night, then that's cool. But more generally, our VAs are all from South Africa. Can we be assigned more than one client? Yes, you can, but they will never overlap. Terry, I don't know if you want to go more into that.
Yeah, so I mean, it all depends on your capacity. So we do have, some people that have approached us that are currently working and looking for part-time roles. It would all depend on what your capacity is and how many hours you do have available. We also have VAs where they were looking for a full-time role, where we've placed them with 2 half-time roles, and it's made up a full-time. The last thing we also want to do is overload you. So it all depends on capacity. But to answer your question, yes, you can have more than one client. It all depends on the hours.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then I don't have the qualifications, but a little experience. Will you be trained from scratch? So, you do need, like Terry said, 3 years experience, at least in admin. We need to be able to see, let's say the client's not looking specifically for property experience. We do want to see that you've got at least 3 years working in a similar role, because that experience is very important, that when we put you forward to the client, you're kind of you have a good idea of what's coming your way and how to handle it. Training, there will be a bit of training, like we said, on terminology, those kind of things. Your clients also do tend to train you. That's what I've experienced. A lot of clients do train their VAs on business processes, on how to communicate, on how to do specific things. So training is relevant, but we can't take someone with no experience or 6 months experience and put them forward to a client, because we need to ensure that at least 3 years, we know for a fact they'll be able to handle the pressure of the work that's coming in and just be able to have an understanding of what to do. So it's kind of a yes and no. Do you need to have a UK work visa or a South African work visa? That's not really relevant. It's not really relevant at all. I mean, all of the South Africans, they just work in South Africa from South Africa. If you're not moving to the UK, so you wouldn't need a UK work visa. So this is remote work and you're contracted as a service provider. So there's no visas required. You can work full-time for someone without needing a visa, because you're based in your own country. It's only when you move to that country where you'll need a work visa. Okay, cool. That seems like it's all the questions. I think, Terry, you've really gone through this. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yes. So, step-by-step guide, I think I did cover that, in detail already, but tips for successful application. So when sending your CV through, it really does help. You must, also keep in mind that there's hundreds of applications that are coming through. So make sure that your application stands out. If you are specifically in digital marketing, or you do have property experience and you want to go for property management or property administration, try and use that as a subheading in your email subject line. It makes it a lot quicker to find your CV and to go through it when the jobs do become available. And it also, we're scanning through hundreds of CVs per day. So the more deliberate you are on what your skills are and your experience, highlight your skills. What are your strong points? Where, what are you good at? And then also structuring your CV. I get a lot of CVs where attention to detail, I mean, I can't stress how important it is. Take the time one afternoon or morning and really sit with your CV and go through it and make sure that all your grammar is correct, all your spelling, your attention to detail. This is your first, our first view on you. And then obviously your raw CV will get sent through to a client. So it's crucial that all attention to detail on your CV is perfect. And then, another a point that Nikki mentioned earlier today is put some color on your CV. When a recruiter is looking through hundreds of CVs all the time, something that stands out also affects emotion. So it gives us a better idea of what type of personality you are. It makes you stand out from the rest. And just add a little bit of character, if I can say it that way. Keep your CV, maximum 2 pages, and highlight your work experience from the most recent to the least recent. A lot of people do want to go back into where you came from, but they're more interested on what is your most recent experience. And this is
Absolutely.
just a few tips from my side.
Yes, no, that's great tips. And really, guys, if you follow that already, you've got your foot in the door. There was one question by Cindy, just is there a certain cutoff for age? Not at all. We do not care. We're not ageist at all. I think our most mature VA was in her 60s or is in 60s. And the only really relevant thing is that you need to be able to learn tech and be tech savvy. Because of the fact that these business owners love their tech, they're using a lot of prop tech and AI and all those things, and you need to be able to adapt quickly and learn software. So if you're comfortable with that, we don't care about what your age is. There's no cutoff for that.
Sorry, I just
And
wanted
that's
to
it.
mention as well, sorry, Nikki,
Not at all.
a photo on your CV. So thanks, Bronwyn, for reminding me on that one, because it really is important. If you can add a nice professional photo of yourself on your CV, it really just gives us a feel for who you are, and it becomes more personal. So yes, I see Jackie also put a comment in the chat box there. Photo on your CV, 100%. Great tip.
Yes, I see there's another question that came through. Do we need to have set up platforms to receive, what's that, payments from the UK? No, so we will do your payments. It will usually be on the 9th or 10th of every month. So basically the clients will pay into a UK bank account that's then cleared over to South Africa, and then we will pay your salaries in rands. So you don't have to worry about setting up any special accounts. Do you use the applicant tracking system to help shortlist candidates?
So we are working on that. We do have our own platforms at the moment, where once you are shortlisted and you are successful with VA Central, then yes, we do have a tracking system on how to find for different roles and so on.
Awesome. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to add anything else, but we're definitely going to wrap up now. Terry, any last comments
Yes.
that you'd like to make?
No, I think we've covered everything. There is our my email address. So that is the email address that will come directly through to me. And we have, I see Bronwyn did pop our Career Hub link in the chat box. So that's also really nice for you to hop on to actually go and have a look at what roles we've got available. And yeah, that's everything from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. So, I mean, go follow us on our, social media accounts. We've got LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and we're posting on a daily basis. As you can see, please note down that email account. Terry, I hope you get a lot of spam after today, because then at least means we did a good job.
Just follow my
But,
tips.
I just want to end this off by saying being a VA is a career choice. It's a career path. And I think a lot of people don't understand this initially. They think it's, you're just doing mundane, unimportant tasks, but you really do become a vital part of your client's business, and you dream with them, you reach goals with them, and they're open to your suggestions, and they want your input in their business. And it's really exciting to them as well, because honestly, they're not used to it in the UK. So choosing to be a VA, there's actually a statistic that says 93% of VAs said that they're happy in their role. And I mean, happiness you cannot buy. So happiness is, it's obviously extremely important. So thank you so much for everyone that joined. We loved having you here. If you do have any additional questions, please reach out to us on social media. You're welcome to go spam my inbox on LinkedIn, or, contact Terry directly on her email, recruitment@VA Central. But we'd love to hear from you. We really appreciate you reaching out. And that's it. I hope all of you have a lovely evening.